Welcome to the Positive Impact Podcast, where we dive into the world of movers, shakers, and changemakers, creating a positive impact on the world. This is your host, Alexandra Black-Pollock, and together we're going to tackle real issues, discovering how we can make the world a better place. Earlier this week, we had the incredible opportunity to sit down in Nashville with Christy Wright during her Business Boutique event. This event was completely designed around inspiring, empowering, and activating women to use their God-given abilities to create careers and find joy through their work. To follow up that episode, we are connecting with three phenomenal ladies who attended this event and leveraged the skills there to drive forward momentum in their business. To start, we have Maria Morris, who simultaneously runs Maria Portrait and mariawatercolor.etsy.com. Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here talking to you.
Oh, so excited to have you. What were some of the takeaways you had from this incredible event?
Right. Well, I had no idea that I was going to a room filled with hundreds of such excellent women who were just like me, starting small businesses, creative, go-getters. And it was amazing. I had never been in a room like that before. And then the speakers were such good examples to me. So it wasn't just what I learned. It was being inspired by such an excellent group of people.
Who is your favorite speaker?
Tiffany Peterson was my favorite speaker, which is odd because a skinny health fanatic is not my type. So not only am I rebellious against finances, apparently I'm rebellious against personal trainer types. And so I was sitting in her breakout group thinking, okay, yeah, easy for you to say. But she had the biggest impact on me because she was so loving. She loves what she does, but she loves who she does it for. She loved us. I mean, she gave a lot of examples of health because she does mentor a lot in that area. And although that wasn't the topic, that's what I got away from. That was my takeaway. Not only to love the people that you are, your clients, but to just take care of yourself. And ever since the Business Boutique, I've been hiking every single day, rain or shine, 40 minutes. And I will listen to her podcast. And then I moved on to the Entre Leadership podcast. And I'm going, on and on to every podcast I learn about.
Well, hopefully that list includes the positive impact as we go along.
Exactly. You're totally on my list.
For our listeners, Tiffany Peterson did these absolutely phenomenal breakout session all about how to sell and to sell in a way that you really serve others. And she's with the Lighthouse Principles. And I have to admit, I attended that session on the first night, and I had an entirely new perspective around how to sell. What were some other takeaways?
Well, Christy Wright got into the plan after she had us, understand our purpose, the why we're doing it. She talked about the plan. And one of the things she mentioned was how getting a schedule, especially as an independent woman entrepreneur, it's challenging to get a schedule, eliminates anxiety. And so I just got this idea that I was going to designate each day of the week, Monday through Friday, to a different task. And it's working so well. I don't second guess myself all the time. I'm getting stuff done, like the budget, which I hadn't done literally in 10 months. I'm doing every single Friday now. Monday's blog day. I went to a breakout with Kelly Hancock that completely opened my mind to why I would want to support my Etsy shop with a blog. I never could understand why. And now I'm giving away freebies, and it's just the funnest part of my week is blog day. Social media day is another day. I have a whole day designated just to paint. And so I don't have to worry about what am I doing right now? What am I neglecting? I have this huge to-do list. If I get done what I get done, and then I go on to the next week. It's just really giving me like a peace of mind and a focus. And I'm just slowly working at stuff that I know will pay off in the end.
You're hiking, you're budgeting, you're scheduling, you're blogging, you're painting. You're on fire. You're a complete testament to exactly what the organizers of Business Forward were hoping to create with this event.
Yeah. And, as an artist, I'm always full of ideas. I will tell everybody I'm the biggest know-it-all. I mean, ideas, right? But I don't know if it was Christy or if she had quoted someone who said, the currency of success is execution, not ideas. And so I'm really focusing on that. I'm just eliminating extra, nonsense. I know now what God wants me to do. And I'm executing. That's what I'm doing. I'm executing. People give me ideas all the time. I'm like, nope, I'm busy. I'm doing my thing.
All entrepreneurs struggle with that. I know myself as well. It's ideas, and that focus to really execute the ideas that you have in front of you. That's empowering, and that's where change happens.
And I think that just has to do with habits. I got taught exactly what I needed in so many different classes. I had a social marketing, a social media class. I mean, I learned so much, but it was more than learning. It was like I was inspired to just be better, to ask God for bigger.
And we are excited to see bigger and more execution from both Maria Portrait and Maria Watercolor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alex. It was fun.
Up next, we have Stephanie Reisinger, who currently runs an essential oil company. But after joining the countless other women at Business Boutique, she is currently shifting her focus to have a bigger purpose and impact with holistic health. Thank you so much for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you currently live in Kansas City. What took you to Nashville for Business Boutique?
Really, I couldn't imagine not going. I mean, I made the 9-hour drive and slept at a friend's house just so that I could be there, because as soon as I found out about it, I knew I had to be there.
9 hours. That is a trek.
It is, but it was really beautiful.
Oh, yeah, especially in that November fall.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm slightly jealous. Was it just you, or did you have other friends who joined with?
No, I did it all on my own. Again, it was like, I have to go to this. I invited a couple people, asked if others wanted to join me, and nobody was able to do it, so I just went for it.
Wow, what a go-getter. After coming back fully empowered and inspired, I bet you they're kind of kicking themselves for not joining.
I think so, yeah.
This was a completely action-packed event with so many different important topics. But what were your major takeaways?
It really caused a shift in my thinking and the direction I wanted to go. It's caused me to reevaluate my why for sure and clarify that, my reason for doing my business and my reason for being an entrepreneur. And like I said, just really regain some focus on what I'm doing. So I've reduced a lot of the commitments in my life so that I can pay attention to what matters most and what's going to continue to propel me towards my goals. And I think in addition to that, I've actually had a lot of business training and a lot of sales training. And so there weren't a ton of concepts at Business Boutique really that were brand new for me. But what was really special to me was that it was an event specifically for female entrepreneurs. So there was just this awesome sense of sisterhood, this awesome sense of camaraderie where that I haven't experienced anywhere else. I felt connected to all these people, and I feel like there are all these people now who want me to be successful too.
That room was electrifying, wasn't it?
It was, and so many tears.
Oh,
I cried so many times.
That is not your normal business event for somebody who attends conference like a conference junkie. There was something really different about this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there was so much passion.
You mentioned reevaluating your why. That's big. That's no small task. Can you dive into that a little bit?
Sure. So, like I said, like you said, I should say, I've been doing this essential oils business for almost 3 years now. I also, I guess I do lots of things. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist as well, so I've had a private practice also. And so I've had the opportunity to pay attention to business and to think about the reasons I'm doing it, what I'm doing it for, but it changes over time, and so it's been a couple of years since I really sat down and paid attention and thought, why am I doing this? And what it came down to is I was able to hone in on this thing that just continues to develop in me, that I want to empower women in their physical and emotional health so that they can fulfill their purposes in life. And to get that at the forefront of my thinking, to make that so clear in my mind, was what helped me then to think of where I want to go next.
That's a big why.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. And I'm excited to see that come to fruition. Before we touch on that, you brought this idea of focus. And just a couple minutes ago, we spoke with Maria and how important it was for her to really focus in on tasks. Can you touch on what it was like to turn down and to cut out some of those things in your life that didn't align with your why?
Oh my goodness, it's so hard because there are good things. I have commitments in my life because at one point I wanted to do them, and they're things that I enjoy. And so having to make choices and cut out things that I actually like doing, to pay more attention to my ultimate goals, was a challenge. But since I've been able to do that, and it's something I'm continuing to work on too, then I have more, I guess I have more energy to put into those things that really matter.
That is such an amazing takeaway, is to have the more energy to do the things that matter.
Yes.
Now let's talk about those things that matter, because as we've touched on, you're shifting your focus. Can you dig in a little bit about what you have on the horizon?
Yes, I would be happy to. So I have, I've been in this area of health, of holistic health with the essential oils, and then emotional health as a marriage and family therapist. And I also I've been going through I've gone through my own journey of infertility, and bringing all those things together, I realized I would like to get as much information out there as I can about holistic methods for boosting fertility and wellness. And so I've decided to start a podcast for holistic fertility and wellness. And that seemed to me like the best way to reach lots and lots of people and provide them with the information that I personally have had to go to so many different sources to obtain.
Well, you obviously know here we're a fan of podcasts.
Yes.
That is going to be very exciting. And from talking to you, what we have, it really is a needed topic. Can you quickly touch on why other women need to hear about the holistic side?
I think because we need to be able to understand our bodies, what they do, and how we can support them well. I think that the conventional medicine that we experience today absolutely has its purpose, but at the same time, our bodies were made to do something. They were made to heal themselves. They were made to be able to function well, and so there are all kinds of things that we've done in our environment, the way we eat, and all this stuff that's just broken a lot of that down. And I think it's time we take that control back and say, my body was made to do these things, and be able to learn how to best support those things.
I can tell already you're going to have an amazing podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And as Christy mentioned in her episode on Wednesday, sometimes the best opportunities are where needs intersect with a passion, with opportunity. And that is really what is happening for you.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously, if I hadn't gone through my own journey, this wouldn't be something probably that I would care so much about. But I'm glad because I know that there are so many people out there, so many women with these same struggles, and I'm excited to be able to help them move toward motherhood.
You were right. That is an amazing why. And thank you for sharing that with us today. And thank you for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you again. I really am so glad to have been on your podcast with you. I appreciate it.
Lastly, we have Amber Jones from Minnie's Travel Boutique with Disney, ultimately helping you enjoy the happiest place on earth, joining us to talk and finish off our episode about Business Boutique. Amber, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
What inspired you to attend the Business Boutique event?
Well, it was kind of crazy because here in Indiana, Dave Ramsey is not on a station that I ever listened to. And really. And so that day I was driving in the car and I just happened to turn to his station and he was on, and it was the very day that Christy Wright was on talking about Business Boutique. And I just couldn't believe it. It sounded so amazing. So I called my husband right away and I said, listen, I think that this is God telling me I have to go to this thing. And he said, absolutely. And there were some trials that came up along the way. We sold our house and moved and closed the very week of Business Boutique.
That's not stressful.
No. And I kept telling my husband, I can't go to Nashville. We just moved. There are boxes everywhere. And my husband kept saying, you have to go. God is saying that you have to go to this. And so I did. And it was totally amazing.
So you're moving, everything's crazy, and you still went. Was it worth it?
It was. I've told everybody about it. Anyone who has a business, I've just talked about it nonstop. I'm sure they think that I'm crazy, but it was so refreshing and just inspiring, and it was just the most incredible thing I've ever done.
Now, Business Boutique was all kind of about tangible things to help you in your business. What were some takeaways from the event that you just thought were spot on or eye-opening?
Right. So for me, the way I keep telling people is before I went, I was a mom who had a business, and now I'm a business owner.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah, it's just the best way I can put it. So even though I didn't talk about it a lot, I think the biggest takeaway for me has been my professionalism. With having a Disney travel agency, it's really easy to fall on this whole, like, I'm going to wear everything Disney and look like Disney threw up on me when I go to represent myself at events. And looking at the women on the stage, I kind of realized that might not be the best way to represent myself. So as soon as I got back, I really changed my wardrobe. I went and I got my hair cut and I got my hair dyed, and I decided I needed to look professional or people weren't going to take me seriously. And so that has been a huge takeaway for me, is how I want to represent my business. And even though it's a fun thing to be a Disney travel agent, it's still a business and it needs to be done in a professional way. And I think that's also setting me apart from other competitors that I have.
No more Disney throw up.
No more Disney throw up. I'm not wearing Disney t-shirts everywhere I go, because that's not me and that's not my style and that's not who I am every day of my life. I don't dress like that. So it wasn't true to myself when I was going out to events and looking like that. I didn't feel comfortable and I didn't feel confident. So taking the whole boutique aspect of it and putting that into my business with kind of a vintage feel and vintage look, that's more of who I am. And so that makes me more confident when I present my business to other people.
As Christy would say, that plays into your strengths.
Absolutely. And it's setting me apart, like I said, from my competitors. I do have competitors, and when I see them out and I look at what they're doing, it is setting my business apart. And you know what? I've seen them recently, just in the past month that I've been home, they're stepping up their business, which lets me know that they're kind of being afraid of what I'm doing now. And that's awesome.
That's an incredible testament to the steps that you've taken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about those steps, because we've talked before and you did several key things after the event that not only your wardrobe, your professionalism, but also actual business items. Can you tell us a bit about those?
I did. So I was working under another agency, and we had kind of already talked about maybe parting ways, not because of anything bad, but just because my owner didn't want to continue with the Disney idea. And we were working under a name that didn't say anything about Disney. And so I was struggling with that before the business boutique. At the business boutique, one of the things they talked about was when you are trying to do too many things at one time. And that's what I was doing. Disney was my passion, but I was also trying to sell other cruise lines and other things. It was too much information for me. And I could not be someone who was an expert in Disney when I was focusing on other cruise lines. So I decided at the business boutique to start my own company, Minnie's Travel Boutique, and only focus on Disney so I could be an expert in that. That was my first step. As soon as I got home, I did getting my business license, like they talked about, getting my EIN, getting my business account, all of those first steps that they talked about. And then I just started my marketing. I got my website going. I got a blog going. I started with my Facebook page, all of those very first steps. And you know what? It's not perfect. I don't know how to work a website. And every day I try and I kind of mess up, but it's getting out there and I'm getting new clients and I'm getting new customers. And it's just growing in a huge way that before my business never did.
You've actually had some big successes. Do you want to touch on those?
Yeah, so far I already have 6 trips booked for 2016.
Incredible.
Yeah, and for all of 2015, I only did, I think, 3 trips. So I've already doubled my business, and I have someone who signed up underneath me. So now I have a new travel agent that's working underneath me. And that is how I'm going to make money when I'm not working, which is a big point in the business boutique, is how to make money when you're not the one working. So I'm already working on that too.
Wow, talk about the power of focus.
Yeah, you really do have to work on it every day. Even if it's just putting a message on Facebook, something, you have to work on your business every day. And I didn't do that before, and I do that now, and it's making a big difference.
And not only just work on your business, you've outlined very intentional things, focusing and narrowing in on what's really going to move your business forward.
I did. It was hard for me when we were at the business boutique to come up with my why, because, you hear these people who have these big goals and their businesses sound important. And to me, I couldn't really figure out why my business was important to other people. I love Disney, but it's not changing the world. And it really was hard for me to come up with my why until I started focusing on my family. I'm already a stay-at-home mom, so I don't need my business to stay at home. It kind of sounded selfish to me to think like, oh, I just want more money. So I didn't want that to be my why, because that's not true. But then the thing that came down to me was my husband has some health issues, and that's something that I've always worried about. And so for me, my why is I want to be able to help my family in the case that my husband can no longer work. That is a real fear that I've had. And so if I can build up my business to the point where, heaven forbid, that my husband can't work and I can take that over and we don't have that stress as a family, that would be a huge blessing. And so that became my why, and that is my why. And it's going to take a few years to get to that point. But when you get that why for yourself, that's different from everybody else, that's just for your family, that puts focus in. And that's what gives you your drive. And you really do have to figure that out.
That is such an admirable why, is to be there and provide for your family and give them the opportunity to go forward should something happen that changed your circumstance. Thank you for sharing that. Having gone through the same event and trying to grapple with your why, that is not an easy task.
It's really not. And I think that we don't really think about it. It's just, oh, we want to have a business. Oh, it sounds fun. But that's when you lose focus and then your business goes away. And that's also why you have to work on it every day. I think we as women, we're those people that, oh, I had a Tupperware business. Oh, I had a 31 business. Oh, I did this, but I don't do that anymore. And that's because we don't work on our businesses every day. And if you keep your why in front of you, you do something for your business every day, keeping that schedule, you'll be successful because you are keeping it in the forefront of your mind. It's important to you. It's important to your family, and it won't fall by the wayside. And I have to say that having my husband behind me, he was excited about the event. He saw how excited I was. He has bought into it. He keeps saying that he's going to end up working for me.
That's a cool goal.
It is. And he tells other people about it. He's on my team. When you can get others behind you like that, that's when you've got something big. And that's exciting. That's exciting to have that. And I think Christy and all the people at the Business Boutique and seeing their passion, that just put that passion in me. And it was so exciting to be there.
Oh, it really was. And everything you've touched on are both what Amber and Stephanie said as well. The focus, just narrowing in, having what your strengths are and going for it. And then also your why, identifying a why. And then, as you said, putting it in front of you. Those really were the biggest pieces of that event that really gave everyone the tools to move forward.
It is, and it's so exciting. And I love being on the Facebook page and hearing the stories of the other women there. And I just can't wait to see where this group of women goes in the future. It's just so exciting.
They're going places, that's for sure.
I know. I can't wait to go next year. And I hope I take a whole group of friends with me.
Right? Maybe all your team members, right?
Oh, well, for sure. But I mean, other friends too.
Well, Amber, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We're very excited to hear about your success already set up for 2016 and to see what else the year brings.
Thank you so much.
Well, changemakers, there you have it. The incredible power of focus and having your why. This isn't something that just the attendees from Business Boutique can take away. This is something that you can take and apply to your everyday life and moving forward to make that positive impact on the world. If you're struggling with focus, we have a special gift for you today, a timesheet matrix to help you track and see where your time's going. Because once you understand where your time's going, you can redirect it to fuel that drive towards your why. Check that out, as well as all the links for the amazing businesses that our guests today shared with us at our show notes page at positiveimpactpodcast.com/stories/Christy Wright. Additionally, if you're struggling with your why, check out Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. Head on over to that show notes page and we're going to give you a free audio download thanks to Audible. Until next time, keep doing your part to make the world a better place.